Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. We're moving with another type of adverbs. Clear the third type of an adverb we want to study here, that is called adverbs of place. We studied about adverb of manners, then we studied about adverbs of time. Now we want to move towards another type of adverb, adverbs of place. Clear? Now, a word, it shows place. It indicates place. It indicates where an action happens. We call it an adverb of what? Adverb of place. If a word, it indicates, it shows where an action happens, that is called what? Adverb of place. Clear? Now here is what I have written here, the definition for you. Let's explain it. Look here. Adverb of place shows where an action happens. Clear? Specifically, number one, directions, distance, movement, or position involved in the action. Like if I say, I go home. I go where? Home. Now what is home here? It's place. It indicates place. So we can call it what? Adverb of place. So adverb of place, as I said, adverb shows us what? Look, listen to me. You need to understand in depth. Adverb, as I said, it talks about place. Place can be what? It can indicate direction. Place can be what? Directions, like towards north. I go north. Is it direction or not? I go north. I go where? Towards north. It indicates the direction towards north. So what is this now? Again, north is adverb. Are you getting it? If I say distance, it shows what? Distance. It shows what? Movement. And it shows what? Position as well. We'll be talking clear. So if you want to explain it, so in place we have got how many things? 4. Number one by one we will explain it then. Direction. Number 2, distance. Number 3, movement. And number 4, position. Like you move somewhere. I go where? I go home. Now it's movement. Clear? Position. I'm here. Position. I'm where? I'm here. It talks about my position. You are there. It talks about your position. Huh? He is where? Outside. He is where? Inside. Are you getting it? So we can say that adverb, clear, it talks about place. If it talks about where an action happened, that's called adverb of place. We have here that for places, for place, like is we have defined in adverb that adverb modifies what? Verb, adjective, and another adverb. But in terms of place, in terms of what? In terms of place, clear, adverb of place, can you see, are specific to actions of verbs. What did I say? They are specific towards actions of verb. They cannot be used to modify adverbs, another adverb, or adjectives. Like adverb of places only modifies what? It modifies adverb. Sorry, word, not adverb or an adjective. Are you getting it? So here we have got like some of the adverb of places. There, here, outside, backwards, behind, below, down, indoors, upstairs, at home, in the class, on the road, etc. We call them what? Adverb of place. For example, Here is an example for you. I didn't put hair. I didn't put hair. Here talks about what? Place. So here is called adverb of place. I saw him where? On the road. Ali is where? At home. So all of them, it gives you answer for what? Where? Huh? It gives answer for what? For where. So anything that gives you answer for where, that is called what? We call them adverb of place. Excellent, clear? So it talks about adverb of place, all of them in these cases. Are you all getting it now? All right. Now, if you want to move towards the position of adverb of what? Adverb of place. Let's move towards the positions here. Positions of what? Adverb of places. So let's talk about the positions. Adverb of place in a sentence, clear? Adverbs of places generally appear immediately after main verb in a sentence, in which case if it is intransitive. Yesterday we studied, if you remember, in definition of adverb, that adverb is used immediately after intransitive verb. And intransitive verbs are those verbs that cannot take an object. And after object in the transitive verbs. How? Listen. If I say he walks or he is walking. He is walking. Now what is walking? It's verb. Do we have any object here? We don't have object. So the word walking is called what? It's called intransitive verb. What we will call it now? Verb. Intransitive verb. It's intransitive verb. Why we call it intransitive verb? Because there is no object. So now, if there is no object after verb, that is called intransitive verb. So we can use directly after intransitive verb an adverb. If I say he walks, he is walking north. North is what? It talks about place, direction of place. So I can say that north is called adverb, and I have used after what? I have used directly after intransitive verb. Excellent. This is used after intransitive verb. But in case, if you have what? If you have transitive verb. Transitive verb means if it has object, clear? If it has got an object, then what we need to do with that one? We will use it after the object, clear? Very good. For example, he kicked. He kicked. What is he? Subject. What is kicked? It's verb. He kicked the ball. What is ball now? It's an object. He kicked. What he kicked? He kicked the ball. Verb is kicked. The ball is an object. So kicked it. What type of verb is this? Transitive verb. Why we call it transitive? Because it takes an object. So remember, after intransitive verb, or if a verb it takes an object, we will use adverb after object, not before object. Clear? I can say he kicked the ball. Where? Into the field, for example. What is field? Into the field. Adverbial phrase. Into the field. It's an adverb. So I have used an adverb. Where I have used an adverb? After the object. Can I use in this way? Can I say like he kicked into the field the ball? It's incorrect. Now why? Because I have used adverb of place where? After transitive verb. So it cannot be used after transitive verb. It will be used after an object. It can be used directly after intransitive verb, but intransitive verb it cannot be used directly. It will be used after that of an object. Are you all getting it? All right, let's take example. Like they are walking. So walking is called intransitive verb we have directly used here. But if you look here, he kicked the ball into the field. So transitive verb, adverb follows the object. My friend is moving. My friend is moving. So now my friend is moving. Do you have any object? No, it's intransitive verb. We have used here far away. Far away is what? It's an adverb. Clear? The wind keeps clear scattering. Scattering what? Sand. The wind keeps scattering sand. So what is sand now? It's an object. And what is here? Everywhere. What is everywhere? It's adverb of place we have used after that an object. Is this clear? Now we want to talk about adverbial prepositional phrases. Clear? Adverbial prepositional phrases. What are adverbial prepositional phrases? Clear? Position of this one. Position of what? Adverbial prepositional phrases. Yesterday we have talked about it. There were prepositional phrases. Clear? A phrase. It contains preposition. Now look here. Adverb prepositional phrases can also be placed where? At the beginning of a sentence. Clear? In this case, it puts large amount of emphasis on the location. Clear? They describe. Let me give you an example. Then you will understand in a much more better way. Look here. Let's explain it. Adverbial prepositional phrases. If you didn't learn this lecture, you can go and watch a video inshallah on adverbs. I have already cleared about adverbial prepositional phrases. Adverbial prepositional phrases, as I said, can be placed where? In the beginning of a sentence. If you put it in the beginning of a sentence, so it puts what? Large amount of emphasis on the location they describe. Like if you're describing any place and you put adverbial phrase in the beginning of a sentence, so it emphasizes what? It emphasizes the place what you want to describe about here. Now take an example. Let's take, you will understand better way. In the house, we have lived our entire lives. Now look here, where we have lived our entire lives? In this house. So in this house is what? Adverbial phrase. And we have put it here in the beginning. Now if you have used it in the beginning of a sentence, so it put a lot of emphasis on what? On a place what you want to explain. Which place we are putting emphasis? We're putting emphasis in this house. I'm talking about in this house. Where? In this house. We have lived our entire life. Now, look, take in next example. Outside the office. Outside the office, I could hear my parents talking to the principal. Where? Where I could hear? Outside the office. What is it now? Adverbial phrase. It's called adverbial prepositional phrase. Why? Because it contains preposition. Outside the office. In this house. So we call them adverbial phrases. Clear? And they can be used in the beginning of a sentence. Now let's talk about types of places. We want to talk about types of what? Places. Places can be what? Adverb place. We're talking about types. As I told you earlier in the beginning definition of adverb of place, that it can talk about direction, it can talk about distance, it can talk about position. Clear? So, and it can talk about movement. So now let's talk about this. Adverbs of direction. They are what? Adverbs of adverb place of directions. That it shows what? It shows us direction. Now, for example, many adverb of place indicates the specific what? Direction of movement. Like for example, if I say up. Up is what? Is direction of movement. Up. Go where? Up. Come, where? Down. Huh? Come down. Go up. Up is what? Adverb. Down is what? Adverb, because it talks about place. Down is place. Come across. Clear? North, south, east, west. So all of them, they are called what? We call them adverbs of place, and they are used for directions. Are you getting it? We want to elaborate them clear through examples. Let's take example of this. The house is situated where? The house is situated where? North of the city. Clear? His house is situated where? North of the city. Let's drive. Where? Down. A bit further. Down. Down is direction. They walked. Where? Across. Across what? Across the field. Where? Across the field. So now this is called what? Adverbs of directions. Is this clear? Now we want to talk another adverbs of movement and direction. We want to talk about what? Adverbs of movement and direction. There are also adverbs of place, clear, that end and what? That end and word, W-A-R-D, like towards, eastwards, clear, forward, etc. So word or words that describes what? Movement and particular directions is homeward, backward, forward, onward or onwards, clear, etc. So we call them what? Adverbs. Adverbs of movement of direction. Now take an example here. Remember that all these words, they can function like, for example, toward. It can function, number one, let me write down to explain it in a better way. If I say toward, it can function, number one is an adverb. Also, it can function toward. It can also function as a preposition. It can function what? Is an adverb, and it can function as preposition. Let's take example how it function as an adverb and preposition. When a noun is followed by, when a noun is followed, clear, by them, then that is called preposition. If it is followed by what? Noun. And if it is not followed by noun, it would be adverb. Look, if it is followed by noun, and if it is not followed by noun, I'm going to explain it through example. It can function both preposition and as well as an adverb. How would you understand that when it functions as an adverb and when it will function as a preposition? If it is followed by a noun, then that is called preposition. For example, I go. I go where? I go to school, for example. I go to school. Again, but I'm talking about what? I'm just talking about towards, this one, not school or etc. Look here. If I say we headed where? Towards. Do you have any noun after them? Is there a noun? Like after towards, there is no noun. So now towards, it functions as an adverb. There is no noun after towards. Look, the second one. We should always go where? Forward in life. Clear? So they are called what? Adverbs. But look here, it's prepositions followed by a noun. I saw them coming. I saw them coming toward me. Now what is me here? Object. It's an object, pronoun. So if it takes pronoun or noun, then now over here it functions as what? It functions as preposition, not is an adverb. He walked towards the car. Now it doesn't show place. It doesn't show here place. Clear? So we can call it what? Preposition in this case. Let's move towards the next one. Adverbs of what? Location. Adverb place of what? Location. These adverbs, like, it indicates what? Location of someone or something in relation to someone or something else. How? I'm going to explain them. Inside, behind, outside, next to, between, over. And what we have written here, adverbs all indicate the location. They indicate what? Location of someone or something. But I have written here what? In relation to someone or something. This is important. In relation to someone or something. So how? Let's explain it in more detail through examples. For example, if I say, we were waiting. Where? Outside. Do we have noun after it? No. There is no noun after outside. So this is function is what? It function is in adverb because there is no noun after this. So second one, I kicked the ball. I kicked the ball where? Around. The others started lagging. Lagging where? Behind. Lagging means like when you leave behind. Lagging behind. So do we have any noun after them? No. But look these examples. We were waiting. Where? Outside his office. Outside his office. So now his office, noun comes. So what is outside now? It's preposition. I kicked the ball around the field. So around now here, the word only around. I'm not talking about the whole. Remember one thing, that I'm not talking about what? I'm not talking about the whole, this one. I'm just only talking about outside. Are you getting it? Is a whole, like if you want to take outside his office. Where? Outside. This is adverbial phrase. It becomes adverbial phrase. In adverbial phrase, absolutely it will function as what? It will function as an adverb. But I'm just only pointing you out the only one word, outside. Outside, we don't have any noun after it. So we can say that this is called an adverb, individual adverb. It's not adverbial phrase. It's an adverb itself. Are you getting it? But if it comes with words and it becomes phrase and it indicates place, we will call it what? Adverbial phrase. Are you getting it? Like for example, can you see? I kicked the ball around. Around now in this case is what? Preposition. But entirely if you combine with the field, it's called adverbial phrase. Are you getting it? Like for example, the others starting behind. Where? Behind us. Now us is what? It's an object pronoun, and behind is preposition in this case. But entirely both of them, it becomes adverbial phrase. Are you getting it? So that's what we call them, adverbial phrase. You should understand about when it function as an adverb and when it function is in. Let's talk about here and there. Here and there. Here and there are what? Adverbs. We call them what? Both of them are adverbs. Here and there. And they call what? Adverb of place. That relate specifically to what? To the speaker. Here indicates a location. It indicates what? Location or direction that is with, towards, near to the speaker. Like we use here if someone or a place is near to you. Clear? Come here. Come here, it means it's near to you. There, it is used, clear, far away from you, or not near to you. So we use that of there. Like for example, I put my book there. So there is far. And if I say, yes, you can sit down here near to you. Or we can say, let's go there, it's far. Turn here, it's near. Clear? Both here and there can be used in the beginning of a sentence as well, emphasizing what, whenever like adverb of places are used in the beginning of a sentence, it emphasizes on the place. If I say, there is the restaurant we were looking for. Now in this case, which one is subject in this case? There is not subject. The restaurant is subject. Subject is what? The restaurant is called subject. There is not subject. Here I am. Where I am? Here I am. Here and there, it can be what? Here and there can be object of preposition. It can be an object for preposition. It's also important for you. Here, there, and there also often combined with what? With preposition to create more specific references to location. Not that because they are the objects of preposition, they are functioning as noun in this case rather than adverbs. But remember, if it function is an object, so object is also what? It's a noun, pronoun, or what function is a noun? Do you remember? We had studied like an object and subject can be what? It can be noun, it can be pronoun, or whatever function is a noun that is called object or subject. So if it is used as an object of preposition, then absolutely here and there will not function as an adverb. It will function as a noun. Over here, let's take an example here. Please put the table over there. Over is what? It's preposition. And after this, there is what? There is the object of preposition. For example, why are the keys up here? Up here. Up here. So here is the object of preposition up. Don't put your muddy boots on there. On is preposition, there is object of preposition. It's rather hot in here. In is preposition, here is object of preposition in this case. Is this clear? All right. Tomorrow, inshallah, we will talk about adverbs of frequency.